Hello YouTubers, welcome to my channel. Thank you for being here today. I'm very grateful. I know it's a precious commodity, your time, so thank you for giving it to me and watching my video. I will be doing a reading, as the title said, for your deceased loved one, relative, friend, family member, who is coming through today. So all I would ask in return is that you please show me a little love and hit that like button or make a comment and subscribe if this kind of content is something that you enjoy. That helps my channel to grow, and I am just getting started here on YouTube, so that makes a lot of difference. Also, and more importantly, it tells YouTube or the algorithm that, hey, this content must be interesting, so let's show it to more people. So it broadens the audience, and this message is more likely to reach the family that it belongs to. So, okay, now that we've got that business out of the way, let's jump on in and let me tell you who's coming through today. So, I have a gentleman coming through who is making it known to me that he was a Native American. Now, I'm not certain which tribe this was. I cannot tell you that. I wish I knew more about it, but I do not. And so he's really saying that's not particularly relevant to the story. He is telling me that, yes, thank you. While, well, let me back up. He's saying that his life was what I guess many of us would say a humble life, but he's using the word poverty. He lived in poverty his lifetime, basically his entire lifetime. But he's saying some of that was his own doing. Apparently this man was a drinker. Overindulged in drinking, and he's taking responsibility for that being part of his circumstance, or how his life ended up, because as we know, when people overindulge in any substance, it affects your judgment, it affects your decisions, your performance, all of those things. So he's taking responsibility for that. Now, the person he's reaching out to today is a young woman, and I feel like this was his daughter. Of course, could have been a stepdaughter. Don't take that really literally, but it feels like his daughter, or a daughter type of relationship that he had. And he's saying that you, meaning the viewer, the daughter, person who this message is meant for, apparently you went out on your own at some point. You left the reservation. You went out and embraced the life of, Americans, what I guess, I don't know what Native Americans call us, but white people, I'm sure I don't know that, and I don't mean to offend anyone. I really, really don't. I have total respect for Native Americans. In fact, a little sidebar, my brother was actually inducted into a Native American tribe. So, and these feathers here were his when he was alive, and I keep them here to honor him because he brings through information for me. He's one of my guides and helpers here when I do these readings, which is somewhat new. He was not, that's just something, a role he's taken on more recently. But enough about me, back to the reading. So I just share that so that you know I had the utmost respect for that. I'm just not educated into the, the proper language, I guess you would say. So again, I mean, no disrespect. But back to the story here, he's also saying that he was very, he's actually said, I started to use the word adamant, and he said, no, that's not what I want you to say. I want you to say stuck in my ways. He's saying he was very stuck in his ways and his beliefs about his life and about living according to the culture and the teachings. And I'm struggling with saying the word rules, but that's essentially what I'm feeling. Kind of the rules of whichever tribe, a Native American tribe that this was that he lived in, or you lived in. He was against living life outside of that, and I believe that he gave you a really hard time about leaving that life. He even showed me that he actually got angry. I think you had arguments about it when you were still in his life more. Yeah, he's showing me you got angry. He got angry. He would use it as his excuse to drink. I mean, that he's saying he would drink over it. That was literally what he said, but basically he was using that as an excuse. So he's, of course, now on the other side and recognizing the error of his ways. However, he's saying he recognized that, he understood it more, and he realized the truth before he passed. I don't get the feeling that he ever told you that. So that is the reason, the importance of this message getting to you, is that he never shared with you that he was wrong. He's saying very openly, I was wrong. I was wrong because I tried to hold you back. I realize that now. He said, not that there's anything wrong with the culture, the ways of, the tribe that he was a member of and that kind of thing. There was nothing wrong with that. He said, but it also, it didn't mean there was inherently anything wrong with you wanting to go out and make your own way in the other way of living. He's saying this, and I don't want to get, again, I'm so conscious of being here in a public venue and not wanting to offend anybody, because that's truly not where my heart is. But he's actually asking me to say the white man's way of living, and so that's coming from him, not from me. Please understand that. But he's saying, he said these cards are just a way to kind of maybe indicate to you the message. But I mean, he gave me all this before I drew the cards, and oftentimes that's what happens in my readings. Is I connect with the person, they give me the message, and then I put the cards out to. It's kind of like this is a way to show you, if you know anything about cards. Although I don't read them literally like you would in a love reading, for example. I get other messages from these because of the kind of reading this is. Back to my message, though. So he's saying, he's looking back and remembering the good times that you had, and of course, wishing he'd done many things differently. But he's respecting you. He's saying he really finally got it, and he respects that you had the courage, because he's saying it did take a lot of courage. Not only, were you coming from this different culture, but you were a woman making your way in the world and, outside of that culture. And he's showing now that he truly did respect you wanting to make your way in the world. And he's acknowledging that you had success and are presently having success. He sees, he's making the point that, yeah, his way, his mindset was winning at all costs. He was pushing, and I guess a way to say it is he was pushing his agenda onto you, pushing his beliefs onto you, and he's acknowledging that was not the right thing to do, and is basically saying he's sorry that he did that. He's saying it doesn't mean it changes how he believed about everything so much, but that he realized it wasn't right to impose that on you. And, naturally, when they get on the other side, they have the expanded vision not being in the three-dimensional world, and we all when we cross over, we see things clearly that we didn't see when we were here. But he's acknowledging now that you've moved, that you did move on, that you're actually watching your ships come in. You're benefiting from your efforts out in that world now. You may have even the Magician card, for example, is turning lead into gold. You took, okay, thank you. He's giving me a very specific circumstance. He's saying you took this lead into gold. You took a difficult situation, you coming from poverty and so forth, not having a lot of the benefits of the other cultures, and you made something, you made yourself into something. You took that and you used that to fuel your drive, if you will, about succeeding in your own life. And he's saying now he sees that because of that you are now seeing your ships come in. I mean, this is literally what this card means. And the Justice card here, now again, I don't read the traditional meanings of these cards always because of the kind of reading this is. However, the message I'm getting is twofold from this Justice card. It is, you put in the effort and now you're seeing the rewards. That's kind of like the good consequence of karma. Karma is just a consequence. If you do good things, you get good things back. You know, if you don't, and the reverse happens, right? So that's one message I'm getting. The other one is, I almost get the feeling that you might have gone into some sort of field that has to do with the legal system. It could be, you know, maybe you're a paralegal, maybe you work for an attorney, but he's also showing me something to do, maybe you went into, maybe you work for a police department, something like that, but something to do with that general field. He's showing me that you've healed. He's showing that you healed from this. You didn't let his, the past, let me put it like that. You did not let the past hold you back. You went for what you wanted. You went for your dreams. You healed this in your own way and you went forward. He's saying, but he also sees that you respected. I think his fear was that you were going to go out into the world and you were going to completely put your tribe and those beliefs, you know, out of your life, and that you were not going to honor them. And he's saying, I see now that was not the case. That is not what you did. You did honor the traditions and the culture. You still hold them in your heart, and that you found a way to honor both. And that you are, he's just acknowledging again that you took control. You managed to make a good life for yourself. You're financially doing well. You didn't let these negative self-talk hold you back. And Spirit's just backing me up. That is the truth. That is the truth. That's what he's saying. Okay. I don't want to go too deep into the deck because the energy gets a little dissipated. But that is the message I have for you today. I hope this resonated. I hope that it reaches the family, the person that it's meant for. If this is not your message, please share it. If you might know whose story this is, please share it so that hopefully they can get some comfort from this message and knowing that their loved one is looking in on them. Also, thank you again. If you'll hit that like button, I am ever so grateful, or make a comment. I do try to respond to my comments, not always immediately, but I do try to respond to them all. And I so appreciate you all watching and devoting your time to this video. Thank you. I wish you many blessings. Take care. I'll be back soon. Bye.